What's going on, CCUM squad? How we doing? Yes, oh my gosh, wow, we got a mic. Guess what we're about to do? You already know what we're about to do. We're about to do a Q&A. Yes, it's, I'm not going to do a ton of editing. I'm just trying to get through, like, as many questions as I can in this one sitting in honor of hitting 5,000 freaking followers on Instagram. Are you kidding? I think I've gained, not that the numbers are what's, the most important thing, but at the end of the day, it's what the number signifies. And it signifies that I'm doing something right. And that the CCUM squad, clearly, we got a lot of new viewers here. So I figured what better way to celebrate than for you guys to get to know me a little bit better. Yes, it's going to be so awesome. But anyways, I just want to get into it. And before I actually start looking at your guys' DM'd questions, because I can answer quite a few of them just with this one question. I did a TikTok about it. Sorry, I'm sitting next to a Salvation Army right now. It's next to my house. I'm a little scared. It's technically not Halloween weekend, but it's kind of like the weekend before Halloween weekend, so I think things are a little crazy out. But anyways, not that you guys care at all. But I'm going to answer a large majority of your guys' questions with this one answer. What is my ab/core routine? Yes, I know. It is like the majority of a lot of my comments/DMs at this point. And I figured let's just knock it out of the way early. I don't want to waste your guys' time. If you guys decide to stay after this, that's up to you. You may have a lot of cool stuff you could learn, but I don't want to waste y'all time. So, what is my core routine? Well, honestly, I've had, maybe I'll put it up on the screen, but I've had abs. It sounds weird saying it. I've had abs since I was like 4 or 5. I don't know why. I just think it may be like a genetic thing, but I don't really know. I'm not going to sit here and tell you guys I did all this crazy stuff because I didn't. I've always been genetically blessed with abs. And if anything, it kind of proves that I'm natty, because it's like, why did I have abs at the age of like 5? Beats me. Anyways, but what did I do to get them to this level, you may be thinking? Maybe I've always had abs, but maybe not to this point. So basically, what I used to do a lot of leg lifts, and it's also important to keep in mind my sports history. I played football since I was like also 5 years old, so cause versus correlation. Honestly, I do remember there was like a point where I was like 4 years old, before any sports, before anything crazy, and I walked into my parents' bedroom. I remember this distinctly. Let me set the scene. I walked in, and they had like one of those, mirrors where you can see like your full body. And my 4-year-old self walks up, and when I look in the mirror, I remember seeing abs. And you may be calling BS on that. Okay. You may be calling BS on that, but honestly, I hope it's focused. Sorry about the lighting. I need to do this in my car, by the way, because I'm not about to do this in my room because it's a house and I don't want to be too loud. You know what I mean? But where was I going? Oh yeah. So I remember seeing abs when I was like 4 years old, and this is prior to any sports, prior to anything crazy like that. I don't know what's up with me, but I used to do a lot of leg lifts. Basically, it was like with the medicine ball. Like the half medicine ball thing where you put your arms up, and I hope you guys can see me. Let me scooch it back a little bit. I don't know if that's better. But anyways, it was with like a half medicine ball thing, and I used to just like lean back and just like do leg lifts. And you can do them like hanging as well. But, honestly, it was nothing crazy. Let me just see if I can put you guys like right here. No, that's way worse. But yeah, no, so I just did a lot of leg lifts, and I know you can do like weighted crunches. There's even machines now for all that. I think there's always been, I just wasn't doing them. But honestly, don't overcomplicate it. Don't be doing all these crazy, weird, like, I don't really know. Unless I made a video on TikTok about it for like sports. There's a difference between like aesthetics and training for sports. And if you just want pure abs, another thing is you don't want to I know people are going to be mad when I say this, but you don't want to overdevelop your obliques. You mainly want to focus on, the main six-pack being the main thing. So if you're sitting there, and I'm not saying that you shouldn't hit, I'm saying that you shouldn't hit obliques, but what I mean is like the obliques will be worked if they need to be worked. You know what I mean? If the obliques need to be engaged, they will engage. Don't worry about trying to actually, force them to be worked. Just let them do it if they need to be used. And otherwise, don't worry too much about them, because honestly, they're just going to make your waist look wider anyways. They may have some nice definition for certain poses, but honestly, you're not going to be standing around posing at all times, and for the majority of the time, you're not going to be posing. You're just going to be standing around unflexed, and at that point you just have a wide waist. You know what I mean? It's not really worth it. If anything, I've been actively trying so hard to lose a lot of like core muscle, just to kind of, and essentially now I think what's really been happening is that, and I noticed this when I started doing like oh shoot, I just turned on my wipers. The lat pullovers with the cables, I'm kind of crunched down. I don't bring like a bench over to do it, but because I'm at a school and we don't really be doing that. I don't want to be looking weird. I already look like a freak. I don't know why I don't just commit to it, but yeah, so when I'm bent over and I'm doing like the pullovers, yes, the lats are being engaged, but the core, the one thing about the core is once you get it defined enough and you can actually see it, if it's being used, it's being used. Like, it won't really go away. I've never heard of anyone who got abs and lost them without just getting fat. If someone loses their abs, it is majority of the time because they just simply put on weight. It's not actually because they lost any actual muscle. You know what I mean? That's another thing. If you aren't lean enough to actually see your abs, don't worry about trying to see your abs. Just let your body fat go down, and then we can talk. Okay, you know what I mean? So anyways, let's move on. I think that was answering a good amount of your guys' questions. Let's go. There's a lot of requests now. Oh my gosh. Let's scroll down. I've been trying to answer some of your guys's. I saw this one that was weird. This guy said, your back hurts because of your chest. A different word for chest. They look pretty heavy. Hey, yo, what? Don't send that to me. This guy said he's an inspo. Okay, hello. At Pajit Kumar 88 on Insta. Hello, how much time did you train? I've actually, on the 1st of November of this year, it will have been my 5-year anniversary of taking it serious. And I have to always clarify, that's taking it serious as in the lifestyle, eating, sleeping, training hard, like all like the typical bodybuilding type stuff. Even though it wasn't always just bodybuilding, it was also for like sports. But that's when I took it serious. You know what I mean? Like, I had been lifting on and off for a few years. So really I'm at like 8 years or more than 8 maybe. But I'm a third-year college student. I graduate this year, but I'm 20 years old, and I started around middle school, if that puts it into perspective. So I've been training quite some time, but 5 years of consistent, intense training. So that answers your question there. This guy said, yo, how old is you? I'm 20. Quick answer. We'll try and get through this quick. This guy said, found your alt. It's just a short bodybuilder. Nah. Oh, this guy's asking, he said you have a great physique. Appreciate it. If you have a goal of winning competitions or anything, just know. So I'm just going to turn it into a question. Do I plan on competing? Yes, I do plan on competing. I'm currently in college, so I don't really see myself competing in the next, at least 6 to 9 months. But after that, once I graduate in the spring, so May, it's fair game. We'll see. We'll see what I look like by then as well. Who knows? Maybe I'll decide to hit a crazy bulk, but I don't see myself hitting a crazy bulk anytime soon. I'm pretty happy. I'm about to start actually bulking a little bit, but not bulking. Bulking's not the right word. It's just about to start eating more carbs. I think of it in terms of like percentages and overall calories. I'm going up in calories and the percentages are changing, but does that mean I'm about to be in like a surplus? No, I'm probably about to be at like a 25 to 2,900 calorie range. And my macro percentages right now is going to be 30% protein, 50% carbs, and 20% fat. That's just an estimate. It's not going to be exactly that all the time, at least until maybe I decide to compete. But I've been experimenting with trying to see how fast I can lose weight, and it only took me about 2 months to get like pretty freaking shredded. I feel like right now I'm probably the leanest I've ever been, at least with this much muscle. So I'm gonna give myself like 3 months notice before I want to compete. That means like 3 months. And honestly, I could probably do like the first 2 months like on my own. I've proven that to myself now. But within like a month or 2 months of a competition, I'm gonna need to get a coach to get all like the finer details all tuned out. But who knows? Maybe by then I'll have some crazy connections or something. Who knows? Maybe this will pick up quite some time by then. But it's also crazy because I've only been doing this really for like we're coming up on 6 months of taking this whole social media thing seriously. And within these 6 months, the last 2 months of which have actually been the craziest. It's like it's starting to get exponential. I've always said it's the snowball effect. Once it's rolling, it's rolling. And I foresee another 6 months from now, because I'm thinking, okay, these 6 months have been crazy for me. And not only that, it's like these last 2 months have been like the main driver of why it's been so crazy. So it's like, give me another like 6 to 9 months. Who knows where we'll be by then. All I know is I got to take it day by day. This Red Lifts on Instagram says, hey, just wondering, are you natty? And how much do you hit abs, bro? They are sick. Good question. I am natty. And you can argue in the comments all you want. I don't care. You already saw me put up the pictures of me with my little abs when I was like 5. I have no reason to lie. That's really, at the end of the day, if I was on, like look at someone like Alex Eubanks. A lot of people didn't think he was natty, and then boom, he finally came out and actually did it. So to me, sometimes I feel like the only way to actually prove that I'm natty is by actually hopping on, just to show y'all what's actually possible. But no, right now my plan is to set the standard of what's attainable natty. And you look at someone like Shizzy. He just competed today, at least when I'm filming this. People always say he's not natty, but then you look at him up on stage and you can tell. Not that I'm saying he looks bad. In fact, he looks great. In fact, I think that's kind of the things. I feel like there's no such thing as being too big when you're natty. I think anyone who says, oh, you're too big, they mean that only about people on or I don't know if I can say the word gear, because there's just something inhuman about it. It loses the art of it. And you look at the golden era bodybuilders, and I think the only reason it worked for them is because they weren't as lean, they weren't as shredded to the bone, so they could afford to have kind of freakish bodies but still look somewhat human because they weren't as lean. But now it's lost a lot of the appeal to a lot of people, because it's like, if you want to be that shredded and you want to be on stage, you need to hop on. You need to. There's really no way around it. But then you look at someone like Shizzy, and he has a very decent amount of muscle he has a lot of muscle for being natty, but I'm talking like in terms of relative to other people who are on gear. He has a good amount while still retaining that like aspect of not looking like a monster. You know what I mean? They always say it went from being the Greek gods to now it's like the monsters that they were fighting. You know what I mean? That's a little reference. And also, how often do I hit abs? I hit them like once a month tops. Honestly, I'm trying my hardest to actually lose some core muscle, because when I do my pullovers and I do certain like movements where I'm crunched over, or like even like certain leg movements where I'm like bending at the hips or whatever, like the core is being used. So the main thing is I'm just trying to get rid of my obliques. I just have really overdeveloped obliques from sports, and I never even really trained them. I don't know. I just have overdeveloped obliques, but someday I plan on getting rid of those, and who knows by then. So maybe someday I'll start hitting them more frequent, or at least maybe before like a competition or something. But honestly, they're a genetic strong suit, so I don't feel the need too much to do that. This guy said, tips, bro, I'm 5'4". Well, oh, sorry, I'm picking my nose. Oops. But as a 5'4" man, the best tip I can give you, I mean, you've been hearing me give some gym advice, but the best tip I can give you is to just embrace it. Clearly, I'm trying to lead by example with that. I mentioned it in like almost every video I make at this point that I'm 5'4". The best thing you can do in life is, if there's something out of your control, change the things you can control and, you know, embrace what you can't. That's my whole thing. As a 5'4" man, you know, it's gonna be harder. It's definitely gonna be harder. But there's also people out there who have it even harder than you. Okay, you know what I'm saying? You have to always remember that. As difficult as it is, maybe you want to date a girl and she's taller than you, and you don't think you can, you know, you don't think she'd be interested, or, you know, you go to lift and you're not as strong as everyone because you're a lot smaller, or people make fun of your weight, or all these things. The best thing you can do is just like embrace it. Be like, yeah, you know what they say, like funny guys or short guys can either be like very big like a-holes who are very like egocentric because they're like compensating for being short, but they can also be like some of the funniest like guys, and that's, you know, am I saying I'm one of the funniest guys I know? Yeah, maybe, but you know, that's subjective. I like to think I'm funny. And that's another thing. Just be confident. You know, it's easy to say that, and I know it sounds annoying, but I'm speaking to you as a 5'4" man. The moment you just embrace it, and you just like learn to love it, like you have to love it. You know, it makes you different. You're not everyone. You know, it's a mixed bag, and a lot of the things people put their values on often associate themselves with height, but at the same time, you have to think of it as like a filter. It's a filter of, if someone is really that hypercritical of you because of your height, if they genuinely don't want to date you, or they don't respect you just because of your height, then it's like, why would you want that person in your life to begin with? Sometimes I think about, if I was like tall, like 6'5", it would be like frustrating because you wouldn't even know if anyone was actually interested in you because of your personality or simply because of your height. You ever think about that? It might be difficult as a 6'5" man. Obviously, it's not the worst problem to have, but you see what my point is. At least you know when people are being kind to you, or, you know, treating you like a person. It's coming from a place, like a real place, versus just what's the word? You know, something visual, you know. Oh shoot, I'm completely spacing on the word. Material. No, I forgot. I lost the word. Anyways, moving on. I hope that helped. Anyways, this guy said, how to achieve this as a natty. His name's Public CL30. How to achieve this natty? Well, it helps to be 5'4". Let's just say that. Going back to the last guy, it definitely helps to be short if you want to look in a similar way to me. But honestly, the best thing you can do is just stop comparing yourself and stop expecting to look a certain way or for something, you know, because if you constantly think, how do I look like that? How do I look like that? You never stop to actually appreciate what you look like right now. You need to appreciate what you look like right freaking now. Because if you know, because it's like people always want more. People always want more. And the moment they lose something, they realize how much they had. And it's like, you know, there's a lot of people who want to look a certain way, but, you know, just be glad you don't look even worse. Which sounds messed up, because I'm sure there's, out of the billions of people on this planet, I'm sure there's someone out there who's just hands down got the worst body on the entire planet. But you know what? Even they don't know that for sure. You know, there could be someone out there who's got even worse. It's the lack of knowing. Yeah, you know, you'll never know for sure. So even if you think you have the worst body on the entire planet, oh my gosh, I have it so hard. It's like, you don't know that for sure. And especially if you don't think that, like, with your entire heart, it's like someone's definitely got it out there a lot worse than you. So just maybe be appreciative that, you know, just change what you can and forget about what you can't. You know what I mean? It's like, don't worry too much. So how to achieve this as a natty? My best answer is, don't worry about it. You don't need to worry about it. Just do what you need to do. and then move on. What's the workout plan for you? At EJ Magello. You can see it on my YouTube. I feel like I've been producing a lot of informational content as of late. So if you want to go check those out, you can. But right now my split, at least, is chest / triceps, and I include calves on that day as well. Don't skip them. Matter of fact, I hit them twice in my split. So it's kind of impossible to miss them at that point. If you really miss them at that point, you just are trying to avoid them. And then I hit shoulders and biceps the next day. A lot of people, whenever I say that, they're like, whoa, why? Well, hear me out. The next day I'm on a 4-day split. The next day I do legs, and I also hit calves on that day, obviously. Part of the legs. Come on now. And come on, keep up. And then back on its own day. So essentially, to me, that shoulder and bicep day, it's kind of a 4-day version of a push-pull legs type of thing, where I take out the shoulders from the... Hold on, this guy is sketchy, freaking me out. He's got a dog. Okay, never mind, I'm good. Kind of scared me. He's wearing like a hoodie coat thing. Okay, we're good. Scary out here in Spokompton, especially in Halloween. Are you kidding? It's in season for it to be scary. But I take the shoulders out of the push day for most people, and then I take the biceps out of the back and bi day, pull day. So essentially, just kind of ends up, I just take those two things out of the different workouts and I put them together so I can put more focus on my back. And a lot of people, I see a lot of comments saying that I have overdeveloped lats, but you know what? I think that's a good problem to have. Honestly, it is. This guy said, how TF are you only 149 pounds? Because I'm 5'4", and I'm pretty lean right now. But, I don't expect to go over 151 anytime soon. I think I'm sitting pretty comfortable at 147 and 149. Was I 149 here? Oh, yeah, I was. But I don't expect to go over 151. What is going on here? Sorry, you're gonna get mini narrations of me like seeing like some people. Okay, okay. Wow, that scared me. I'm 5'6". What should I bulk to? Well, I wouldn't go above. Okay, for me, my gauge is like 160 is kind of a lot for me, but also a lot of that is muscle. It sounds braggy, but it is. I was 115 pounds when I started 5 years ago, and I'm 147 to 148 right now. So, and I'm just as lean as I was then, which you can kind of do the math. How much of that is muscle? Good amount of that is water, probably. I do think maybe some of it is fat and just glycogen storage in my muscles. But honestly, I'd say at least 20 pounds of that is muscle, at least. So yeah, just do like a body, look it up online. Just look it up online. You can find an answer. I'm sure it's like probably around like 170 to 180 maybe. I wouldn't go above that. Anyone who says you need to get to 200 pounds, if you're under if you're like 5'7" and under and someone says you need to hit 200 pounds, they may just be sabotaging you because you already don't have a lot of height to your advantage. It's not the best thing to also become, overweight. That's the thing. Calories don't build muscle. At least that's kind of true. Not all calories are built the same. You know what I mean? It's like if you think eating more and more and more, it's same with volume in the gym. If you think eating more and more or lifting more and more and more will lead to more results, then people will just do it nonstop. You know what I mean? The reason why a lot of people like bodybuilders and stuff will say to train this much, like with this much volume, or they need to eat this much food. Ronnie Coleman says, once I started eating way more, suddenly I saw way more results. It's like, yeah, because you're blasting, gear. It's like, if you're natty, don't worry about it. Let your body sit at a comfortable position to the point where it's like, if you plateau, then maybe, raise it up a little bit. But you look at a guy like Rich Piana who's like talking like, and I don't want to disrespect him, but I just hate how a lot of the advice these guys on gear give isn't necessarily good advice for someone who's natty. So I'm trying to be a good natty representative. Don't do dumb stuff, and don't think that hitting 200 pounds will magically solve all your problems. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, we live to be healthy, and at times it may be unhealthy, but you don't need to go and make it even worse. You know what I mean? What's my diet and routine? I currently eat a good amount of chicken. I have some tuna, eggs, and some egg whites. I supplement egg whites. I was on protein powder and stuff like that. This dude's like spinning up next to me. Oh, okay, now he's gone. I was doing like protein shakes and protein bars and stuff, but I got off because my skin started to get worse, and I cut out dairy, so I had to essentially cut out all of those protein shakes and protein bars. Someday, maybe in like the next year, once my acne starts clearing up, maybe I'll start bringing them back in. But honestly, I've been having a good time without them. So who knows? Maybe I'll stay dairy free forever. But those are some of my main protein sources. And then as far as carbs go, you know, oats, rice, and I have fruit like bananas, apples, avocados from time to time. You know, it changes up a good amount. I have like kind bars, like for some granola, like or white rice. It's not always the same, but at the same time, it's nice to have some, you know, baseline. This guy said, "Are you for real, Natty? If not, I need some gear tips." I am Natty, and I genuinely don't even know where I would begin to help you on that. Like, I know a lot of guys get into testosterone, and it's like, also, if people think I'm on gear, it's like, just realize, if I'm on gear right now, it's like, why would I even say I want to compete naturally? I want to compete naturally. Or I know you can get around it. See, to me, I don't even know the first step I would take in faking it as well. It's like, not only do I not know what I would do to begin, I don't even know how I would begin to fake it. Like, I want someone to, like, fly me a test. Like, I want to take a test to prove it. And even then, I know people aren't going to believe it. But, like, they're expensive, I think. So it's like, do I really want to spend the time, like, buying one when I could just, like, get to a point where people just genuinely don't believe me and send it to me for free? You know what I mean? It's like, come on now. You know. Also, don't send me selfies and pics, please. I don't want those. I don't want to see them, okay? Just don't do that. And also, I just saw a question. How to lose weight? Caloric deficit. There you go. Bada bing, bada boom. That's it. Caloric deficit. And how to gain weight? Caloric surplus. Yes, the caloric surplus. All right, let's move to the comments. I had a video do pretty well recently. 2 million views. Okay. Let's see if there's any questions in this. Actually, I don't think I'm going to get a lot of questions out of this. Who's this? Oh. I think a lot of these are just literally like... they're all funny. Maybe I'll just do like... I'll point out... One of my favorite comments I saw recently is... what was it? Lionel... A lot of them are like messy but muscular and stuff like that. But oh, bro is really massive. Massive? Ah, that's good. That's good. I like Lionel Messi, like Lee Priest. That's good. That's good. I really like that. Lionel Massive, that's what it was. I love that comment. That's so good. That's so freaking funny. You guys are funny. I appreciate that. How tall are you? 5'4". I think I've made it pretty clear at this point. Oh, here's a comment. Lay off the lats, work out, focus on that chest. So I've seen a lot of these actually. If someone's trying to bring me down, it used to be they would point out my acne, but now it's just, oh, he's got a small chest. You know, that's actually, it doesn't affect me, but it's something I have noticed myself. So I take that into consideration. Don't think I just see that and I just like rub it off as like, oh, they're just hating. It's like, no, I also know, yeah, my chest is just not my genetic strong point. So, You know, I have to work it a good amount, but I think it's not just that, it's size and insertion. It's hard to, you know, build them up for me. I'm not sure why exactly, but yeah, I'm definitely trying to bring them up. Do you train abs? Not really. Dang, some of these have a lot of comments. I didn't even realize I don't really go through all the notifications just because it definitely how does one attain this build? Bro, that's another thing. Being built a certain way is genetic. You can't achieve a certain build. All you can do is try and bring up certain muscle groups to, you know, emulate it. That's literally what I'm doing right now. I'm just trying to bring up certain muscle groups while honestly letting some of them fall to the waistline. Like, for example, my obliques and core. Trying to let it go down a little bit just to bring up the other muscle groups. Definitely have noticed my back is going very, like, it's kind of taking over. So I've been trying to put a lot of focus on my legs and other, like my chest, to try and keep up. But man, it's tough. It is tough. So many of these messy comments. It's so funny. What's the goal body weight? I answered this one actually. 150 is like kind of my goal. I think that's a good weight for me. That's where I feel pretty comfortable. But do I plan on bulking? No, I already said that earlier, but yeah, no, I don't plan on bulking anytime soon. Putting on weight does not necessarily mean putting on muscle. And to me, the name of the game is putting on muscle. And if that means not having to put on a crazy amount of weight, then I'll find the best way to do it. You know what I mean? No, don't shut off. I need the light. Okay. I knew I should. I wanted to go into this just kind of like improvising, but I knew it was going to be hard to like find a ton of individual like questions. A lot of them end up just being my height and, you know. All right, here's a question. How do I cut? Bro, no. But the way I decided to cut the last 2 months was I was kind of in like I was around 2,000 calories and I had quite a bit of protein in my diet, like 200 to 220 grams of protein a day. Just because I knew I wasn't going to do it for a long period. So I kind of was like, freak it. You know, I'll just do a ton of protein while I'm doing this. And dude, it worked. It literally worked. Increasing your protein will help you lose body weight because it's more on your body to, you know, digest it. So you're burning more energy to digest it. You just need to make sure to time it up to where you don't eat a ton of protein, or like, I mean, I'm not saying you shouldn't have any protein before you work out, but just don't do it within at least 3 hours of lifting. A little tip for you, it's gonna mess you up if you do. Are you Lee Priest's son? No. But I would love to meet him. I think that would be really cool someday, you know? We could do a little pose off. It would be kind of lit, some would say. How do you have such a lethal face card and a perfect hairstyle? Oh, thank you. You know, I try. I definitely have fixed the hair up quite a bit over the years. I've landed on this haircut. I've had buzz cuts and, you know, bangs. I've had mullets, but I think this is kind of where I sit. Pretty, matter of fact. And my face, I just lose some body weight, you know. Lose some body weight and your face will look like that. How many days a week do you go to the gym? Man, at this point, I'm not gonna lie, I go like every day almost. There will be days where I don't go, but that's usually either because of time constraints or because I'm just genuinely completely burnt out. But I can go very frequent because I don't do a ton of volume in my training. And, you know, even though I train to failure, it's within a controlled manner. So, you know, I don't end up necessarily hitting, you know, any crazy lifts. You know, I try and keep it all within like the same rep range of like lowest is 4, highest is 8, and it's all very slow and controlled. And I listen to my body. If I fail, I fail. The most I'll do is maybe a drop set now that I'm starting to add some more carbs back into my system and I can handle burning a little extra energy. But honestly, for the most part, I'm just going for longevity, and if it means training more frequent with a little less volume per session, and that if that's what's best, then I'll do that. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's how many days a week I train, but I don't necessarily recommend it. If you're not, I recommend at minimum 4, and for the average person, maximum like 5 or 6. You know what I mean? Minimum 4 only because that's making sure that you're actually progressing. You could go just like a couple times a week and still probably keep a good amount of muscle as long as you're training intense. But if for muscle building purposes, I recommend at least 4. At least 4. Who is your idol, and is there any natural lifter you look up to? I wouldn't say I have. My idols are like CCUM, or I wouldn't really say I have any idols in the bodybuilding world, honestly. I have a lot of guys who I respect, but nothing like idolized. I think CCUM is probably top of the list for me, at least. I'm literally CCUM. Come on now. Obviously, CCUM is going to be up there. But is there any natural lifter I look up to? No, because at the end of the day, you don't know if they're lying or not, including me. You shouldn't even, I'm not even saying you should sit here and believe me. All I'm saying is the idea of being able to look like this as a natural should be enough reason for you to try and stay natural. I'm trying to not necessarily convince you that I'm natural, but at least give you that spark of hope to not take, to not enhance. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's, at the end of the day, it's doing more good than bad. And I know my integrity, and I know I'm not lying. But at the end of the day, whether you want to believe me or not, I don't really care. I just want to make it to where you don't feel the need to do anything. You know what I mean? To hop on, because it's not good for you. And if anyone says, oh, I just do it the right way, it's like, yeah, I really hope you are. I really hope you're doing it in a completely controlled setting. But even then, it's like, is it worth it? Is it worth it to have bigger biceps? Longevity. Let's just say that. I guess it comes down to your priorities. How much do you bench? I've hit 275, but I don't really bench. And I know that's controversial. I did a whole video on it. In fact, you can go check it out. It's kind of poo-poo compared to these videos now. At least I like to think so. But, I basically just said in the video, there's more optimal lifts and benching to me. It's just not my favorite, so I don't do it. And if I do it, it's like once in a while. I did it on my birthday just to make sure I could still hit 275 for my ego, and I could. So I'm not going to be touching the bench again for quite some time. So that answers that question. Oh, and another thing about core, I just saw, like, what the F are those abs? So essentially, it's hard to say, because when people say, like, oh, I want to have abs that look like that, calm down. Because I'm not saying, like, you shouldn't strive for it, but just know a lot of it does come down to certain genetics. I've been very genetically blessed. For being 5'4", this is kind of like compensation. I've been blessed with really good insertions for some muscle groups, and obviously some of them lack a little bit, but for the most part, pretty good insertions for abs. I will say that. So, you can train them all you want, but just don't expect them to look a certain way. Just let them look how they're going to look. Do what needs to be done. And if they don't look how you want, just keep going. Just be patient, and honestly, don't expect them to look don't expect anything. Just do what you need to do, and then just let the results speak for themselves. You know what I mean? I didn't know I was going to look like this when I started, and here I am sitting with a microphone in my car with people walking by looking at me like I'm a crazy person. But at the end of the day, it's the butterfly effect. Here we are. Somehow I'm here. Anyways, my heels keep lifting off the platform. I'm assuming they say when talking about when they squat. Any advice? And I answered this one actually. I said, do what feels comfortable. Heels elevating can actually be a good thing for quad activation, which I believe. I do 2 kind of squat variants. One where my toes are like the main like pointer, like sissy squats, think something like that, where your heels are elevating. And then I try and do like at least some squats with like a Smith machine where my heels are staying flat, but I'm getting like a little bit of a different angle on it. I don't know. Sometimes my logic is, if you don't know which method causes more growth, you might as well do both. You know what I mean? It's like with shoulders. I don't know if I'm getting more out of the cable lateral raise with like a full stretch lighter weight, or doing heavier lateral raises with the dumbbells. So I do both. You know what I mean? Does Zeus know that one of his Greek gods is making YouTube videos? I'm actually 8% Greek, which is ironic because here I am trying to strive to look like one. But yeah, no, I'm 8% Greek, and I grew up with my grandpa always saying, you know, we need to live up to our Greek roots, and psh, here we are. I like to think so. I like to think I am. Do I main gain? At this point, kind of. I've definitely in the past though bulked, but for me right now, I'm pretty comfortable with where I'm at. Oh, he's comfortable. Oh, he's gonna fall off. It's like, no, I'm not gonna fall off. Why would I fall off? You know what I mean? It's like, I'm gonna keep doing what I'm gonna do. Sorry, these girls were looking at me. I don't really care though. They don't know me. But yeah, are you natural? Your shoulders look big. Yeah, that's one thing. I think having big shoulders is something that a lot of people don't know how to do properly. So whenever someone does have big shoulders, the automatic assumption is that they're, you know, on gear. But I do think with actually like quality, it's like, I like to think if you go in with intention, you're more likely to get something out of it. Every time I see someone just walk up to a machine and just instantly get going without, gosh, it just frustrates me, you know, like they walk up and they just grab it and they just start going right away. It's like, no, I usually like walk up, I get it going, I get set, and then I take a couple breaths and then I get going, because I need to mentally tell myself my intention. What is my intention? To grow my chest or to grow my shoulders. And I think once you start training with quality and intention versus just thinking that the more you do, the more you'll get out of it, you know, you're more likely to see results like that. So yes, I do have big shoulders for being natural, but also that's because I make sure to train them like I want to. Also, hit rear delts more. That's the biggest thing I can say. I know I just said more isn't always better, but for the vast majority of people, you need to start doing more rear delts. I'm just telling you right now, it will help. Anyways, do you just have bad body acne, or do you use gear? Gear can lead to body acne. Example, Sam Solik. I just have acne. I get it. It's inherited genetically. I don't really know. It's hormonal as well. I'll definitely have spikes and dips, and you know, over the summer I got a lot of comments accusing me of lying and, you know, saying that, you know, all these things because I had acne, but now I don't really get it as much because my acne, for the most part, I've had a little flare up in the last few days, but for the most part it's not as bad anymore, especially in the face, and that's just because I'm now 20, and who knows, maybe by 21, 22 I won't have it anymore. But I've definitely been dealing with it. It was also crazy timing because right around the time I started lifting pretty serious, I started getting acne. But it's important to note that I was already getting acne for a couple months before then. It's just, you know, because it was around the same time, people assumed I hopped on at the age of like 15. It's like, no, I'm just a teenage kid, and I'm literally just now leaving my teenage years. So yes, I still have acne, but that will go away. And it also started kind of late for me as well. A lot of kids get it when they're like starting at around 13. I got it around like almost turning 16. So there you go. I just was a little delayed on that aspect. Are your legs big too? I like to think so. I've been training them with way more intention, like I was saying, intention and quality versus just straight volume. And man, I do feel like they've actually grown, and I can't wait to see what they look like a few months from now, because I'm already starting to be very happy with the progress I've made in the last like 6 months. So, because I had also pulled my hamstring, I did a whole video on that. Go check it out. But, you know, I literally went to Planet Fitness the other day and I hit legs, and I saw them in the Planet Fitness mirror, and I was like, oh wow. Because you don't really get to see, I don't really get to see them because I don't really have a good amount of mirror like where I can see, but I was very happy with what I was seeing. Let's just say that. I do wish I had more veins on my legs. My legs store a lot of my fat, and even now while I'm super lean, I still just don't have a ton of leg veins. So that's unfortunate. Have you ever done keto? No, I've never done keto. Plain and simple. I'm not going to speak on it because I have never done it. You know what I mean? I'm not going to speak on something I don't know much about. How can I have a shredded waist like that? That's a little bit of a different question. Like I said, I just don't really hit core anymore, letting my waist shrink down, and I definitely think it's helped. After a certain point, maybe I'll start hitting abs, but honestly, I don't really see a need. There you go. What's my body fat percentage? I don't know. Definitely under 10 right now. Definitely nowhere near 5. I'd say safe estimate is 8 or 9. Probably, I'm just going to say 9, but who knows? Maybe I'm like nearing 8. Who knows? Bro, only doing 3 exercises? Yes. A lot of my lifts, I only do 3 exercises just because I feel like there's 2 approaches you could take, especially if you're not trying to do a ton of volume like I am. You could do a bunch of exercises and just do like 1 set each, like Dorian Yates. Or you could just pick a few of your favorite and just, you know, do a few sets with them and go really hard. That's typically what I do. That's just how I prefer. I don't want to have to every single time just do 1 set and then just move on. I just feel like that would mess with my head. I feel like wouldn't be doing enough. Plus, it's like, what am I doing 10 exercises? Like, come on now. But yes, I think 3 exercises can be plenty, especially like, even like muscle groups like biceps. I only do 2. I do 2. People always ask me, oh, what do you do for biceps? Bro, I do preacher curl. And then I do neutral grip preacher curl. And that's it. That's literally it. And that's really all you need. People overcomplicate the gym so much. It's like, look up online, what is the function of the muscle? And then just find an exercise that fulfills the function in a stabilized and controlled manner. I mean, I like to use machines or chest supported stuff at this point. And then just contract the muscle. Do what the muscle is designed to do and it will grow. Come on now. Come on. What sets and reps are you doing? Like I said, I do like 3 sets. Typically 2 or 3 sets at like 4 to 8 reps right now. Every single rep slow, controlled. Even the final rep, I don't drop that. I don't drop the weight. I let it go all the way controlled and let it get fully stretched, and then I'm done. So I hope that answers that. Oh wow, we just hit 5 years ago. I used to do YouTube back like 5 years ago. Wow. I just went all the way. I went through all of the questions on YouTube. I could go on TikTok real quick. Let's check. Just had a video on TikTok do well. Which TikTok, you know, it's very hit and miss for me with TikTok. Oh, if it even loads, I might not be able to load them for some reason. Oh, it looks like I don't have any. What else? What are some questions here? Oh. Let me just pull up questions that I can ask myself. This is kind of sad, but honestly, we went through a good amount, like more than I was expecting. What is success worth? This is kind of a crazy turn of questions, but what is success worth? Honestly, to me, at this point, man, it's tough, because to me, like, success, it's every single person has a different definition of success, and you just need to do what you need to do, but at the same time, you don't want to sacrifice being a good person. To me, right now, I'm sacrificing a lot of my social life. It's literally a Saturday night, and I'm sitting in my car doing this. But, you know, like, a lot of people, to me, I know I started making it once people start saying, oh, we don't see you as much anymore. Because to me, I just feel like you need to surround yourself with people who are like-minded and trying to do the same things or achieve the same things you are, or be with people who are even better than you are at certain things. And to me, at this school, at least, I go to Gonzaga. I love a lot of people here. I'm good friends with a lot of people here. But it's not like, it's like there's certain people who fulfill one side of my, you know, goals, like with the gym, and then others who just fulfill more like my, you know, just hanging out and, you know, having fun side. So it's hard for me to find the balance of friends and goals. And so honestly, at this point, success to me is worth, you know, losing some of my social life if it means feeling fulfilled at the end of the day. Because going out and partying, all that stuff, it's not for me. And I've learned that through trial and error. And now I'm sitting here in my car and I'm having a better night than I used to going out and partying and then going back to my room feeling like poop. So I hope that answers that question. What is success worth? To me, success is about doing what you love to do and doing doing it not just for yourself, but because it makes you a better version of yourself for everyone around you. I think I now am a better person because I'm actually enjoying my life, and I don't think of doing anything wrong or trying to, I'm trying to become the best version of myself, not just for me, but for those around me. If that answers that, not that anyone asked that. I'm going to do just two more questions. Is school necessary? To me, school is definitely necessary unless you're somehow like a child prodigy and you somehow find a way to get extremely successful at a young age. But even then, I don't think that's a good long-term thing. So I think get educated, learn your stuff. I'm literally in college right now. I'm about to graduate. Obviously, if this picks up, who knows? Maybe, to me, school sometimes doesn't feel very necessary because I now have a job and all this is picking up. It's like, to me, school is now becoming one of the lesser things I care about. But also at the same time, I've been going to school since I was like 5 years old. So the least I can do is finish the degree I started. And that's kind of where my mind's at. So yes, go to school. Or, if your goal is to go to like the military or something, just do something. Don't think that you're just going to become famous and rich and successful. I wouldn't say have relied too much on your backup plan, but it doesn't hurt to have one. You know what I mean? Shoot for the stars, but make sure like you have something to actually fund it. It takes money to get to where you need to be most of the time. So make sure you have an actual like source of income before you drop everything to just do, I don't know, maybe it's tough because I know a lot of people who would disagree with that, but I think for the vast majority of people who aren't one in hundreds of millions talent wise, I'd say it's not a bad idea to have a backup plan. Let's just say that. What if people make fun of me? This is a very broad question, but to me, if you want to do something and you want to do something you love, it's like at that point, who cares? If people walk by me right now and saw me doing this, I wouldn't care because I'm doing it because I love to do it. And it's like at this point, if someone makes fun of you for doing something, I will never forget this moment in like 8th grade. There was like a pull-up bar thing and I was doing like tricks on a pull-up bar, like, cause I don't know, I was good at it, like a little gymnast. But this guy with all of his like cool popular friends, they all like were like watching me and I heard him say like try hard and they were all laughing. And I remember thinking like, bro, since when did it become cringe to like try? It's like, it's not. And anyone who has ever done anything like worth remembering or, worth repeating, they did it not because they were afraid of being cringe, but because they love to do it. You know what I mean? It's not cringe to try. It's cringe to sit there and judge people who do. You know what I mean? It's cringe to, sit back and think like you're better than someone, even though you couldn't repeat the same thing. I think that to me with the gym, I think that's why a lot of people respect where I am right now, is because, it's like, if you were to make fun of me, I don't mean this in like an egotistical way, but it's like you will never achieve that. And I'm not saying you couldn't achieve that. I'm saying with your current mindset, you will never achieve that. You know what I mean? In order to get to this point, it cut off. Anyways, I had to be kind of a tryhard, and now I can sit back and enjoy it. But after a certain point, I definitely, I had to become a tryhard, and now I'm reaping the benefits for it. But anyways, my thing literally stopped recording. I think that's my sign to stop. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to see me yap just like this, I'm trying to make these more weekly, just like a weekly yap. A lot of this was Q&A focused, but I think most of the time it's just going to be like a mini podcast at this point. But if you want to see me yap just like this in more small condensed versions, I got plenty of videos for you to go check out. And remember, use code CFITRESULTS to get 10% off raw nutrition supplements. Come on, it's a good deal. Come on, go ahead. Go check it out. I'm buying a new Sebum 6P Savage pre-workout, and I'm going to do a review on that at some point soon. But I'm excited for that. And remember, go reach out on Cameo. If I didn't answer your question, I'm sorry. But if you want a more in-depth explanation and answer for your questions, go reach out on Cameo. Come on, man. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. CCUM Squad out.